Go on, mate, what'll it do, mister? Go on, tell us. Well, hi. I just wanted to do a very quick video on my trip last weekend when I went down to Brecon. Had a few questions that people have asked me, so just to cover it off. In total, I did about 335 miles for the day. And yeah, the bike's just fine at that sort of distance. One of the things I did do, and I promised I would do it, was to see what MPG I was getting. Bearing in mind the current geopolitical shenanigans, which we don't need to go into, but it's worth not forgetting that. I thought it was worth having a look at, really, how does the Vespa compare. So what I did, when I got down to Dolgellau, I topped up. I needed to fill up again at Builth Wells, and then finally, the last time I needed to top up was back at Dolgellau again. So I tried to do like a complete circuit. So the run from Dolgellau down to Builth was across down to Aberystwyth, cut across country, down, do the Brecon Mountain Road, and then back towards Brecon and up again. The type of riding was very busy, so there was a lot of slowish traffic in places. The roads are all 40s and 50s and 60s, and I did, that section was about 146.8 miles, and I used 1.6 gallons of fuel. Now that works out at 91.75. So bearing in mind, some of that was quite slow riding if I was stuck behind a food bulk tanker type thing for quite a while. So that slowed my speed down, but it obviously must help the fuel economy. On the mountain road, you're limited, I think the speed limit up there is 40-50 miles an hour. So yeah, that, because it was uphill for a lot of it, but then downhill again, I wasn't hanging around. I was using quite a lot of the power from the bike. But I thought 91.75 is not bad. So once I got there, the time it had taken to get down to the mountain road was far too long for my liking. That meant, with it being too long, I wasn't very happy bunny. As a result, I tried to make progress on the way back a little bit more. Nothing mad. And that was 86.9 miles. And so I was trying to make a bit more progress. And that's reflected, actually. It's quite interesting. It is reflected because I used exactly a gallon of fuel from Builth back. So my fuel consumption dropped then to 86.9. So if you look at that overall, it actually works out at 89.88 miles per gallon. Now, I don't know what you guys think. I'm quite pleased with that. You've got to remember it's a 155 odd kilo bike. It's got a big windscreen. It's got the big heavy metal frame on it, and CVT. So that's not at its best at higher speeds, and I was basically most of the time 40-50 national limits. So yeah, I'm not that disappointed with it, but that does give you an idea of what it's producing in the real world, where you're not being overly careful. What will be interesting will be when I next top it up, because I had a lot less traffic and I was able to make good progress throughout the whole of that trip. And I will come back to you if I remember. I will come back to you and we'll see what the fuel consumption was like then. I suspect it may well be somewhat lower. Now, how does that compare to my GTS300, which is a big tall thingy? Well, I never did a proper test as far as I know, but basically it's no more economical. It's possibly even a bit less economical than the CRF, which is interesting. And as for the Bullet, the Beast, well, that knocks out 100 mpg all day and all night. It's far more economical, and that's a 500 with more power, a hell of a lot more weight, and arguably half a century old technology. So that's quite a comparison, really. So I think the CVT, although it's technically meant to be more efficient, I don't think it in reality is as efficient, particularly on motorway speeds and things like that. But anyway, I just thought that might be of interest to you guys. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you found it interesting. Don't forget to like, subscribe and all that malarkey. And I will see you shortly on another video. Bye.